So I'm here today with Brian, who is the owner, manager of Bomanoma, and I'm really surprised about his place. It has so many trees. It's a very beautiful place. But it didn't start like that.
No, it started looking very much like what you see here. No trees, no grass. It just so happens that we've had a lot of rain, that there's plenty of grass, but in the dry season there's no grass here too, and that's mostly because of the livestock, the goats and the sheep and the cows that eat not only the grass but any tree seedlings or small trees. They'll just eat those too. So if you don't plant trees and protect them, then they won't grow, and you get something that looks more like this, which is what Bomanoma looked like before we got there in December of 2019.
Okay, that is great. So it's fencing. Is planting, fencing. Fencing is very important, and it doesn't even have to be a real fence. It could just be acacia branches that you pile just to keep the goats away. Really, it's the goats that will eat anything, especially if you plant a tree or a flower. So even our fence at Bomanoma, we have a fence, but it's for the livestock, to keep the livestock out because of our farm and all the trees. It's not to keep people out. People could jump over our fence if they wanted to, but we can't have the cows. You can't have this sheep.
We can't have those sheep
and the trees
and the farm.
And the farm.
Exactly.
And the grass.
Exactly. It's either one or the other, and we chose the farm and the grass and the trees. But my wife is Maasai, and so she cares very deeply about sheep. So her sheep are back in her ancestral homeland in a town called Mosiro. So it's not that she doesn't have any or that we don't have any, it's just that we can't mix them with the farm and the trees, and then also the sheep and the goats.
Okay, that's great. So let us see the difference.
Yes.
From this and your place.
Yeah, so now we're in Bomanoma, and you can see the vast difference between what the open field with no trees looks like, and behind us with all the different types of trees that we've planted here intentionally.
Yeah.
We have planted, and if you look this way,
you planted in 2019.
2019, we came here December 2019. So at the very end of December 2019. So all the trees.
You can count from 2020.
Yes, basically all the trees here. Even these 3 big Italian cypresses I planted maybe in 2021, and they were about that tall. I remember planting each one, and now you can see they're way taller than us sitting here. Here,
so give it 3, 4, 5 years.
It depends on the tree, and it depends on the climate. There's certain trees for sure that really do well in this climate. This type of soil, this type of precipitation. Those would be trees like the Grevillea tree.
When did you start to see a big difference now in this place? Immediately?
No, definitely after a few years.
Yeah.
After a few years, but here it's not as much about time as it is about rainfall, because they could go 3 years with no rain. And then 1 year where it's a ton of rain.
Everything happens
exactly.
in 1 year. Okay.
So it's more about like how much rain, not as much time. When we planted all these trees, we were actually in the middle of a very big drought. And what I did,
you don't have a borehole?
No borehole. So what we did, to plant the trees when it was in the drought, we'd plant a tree, and we would take a wine bottle or a glass beer bottle or some type of bottle, and fill it up with water, and take it and stick it upside down at the base of the tree. And what that does, the water releases, or it comes out slowly over about a week, and that keeps that little area where the roots are moist. So instead of watering the trees every single day, once a week we'd go around and fill up every single bottle at the base of every single tree.
And that was it?
And that was it. Well, we had to do that for some months.
That was the only water you were giving? Or you also watered?
No, that was, well, when you plant the tree initially, you dig a very big hole and fill it with water, then put the tree in, and then so it goes into water initially. But then after that, yes, all we did was
it was that small water.
Yes, but it's a liter.
A liter per tree per week.
A liter per tree per week.
Wow.
Yeah. And then
amazing.
we also did mulching. So because the sun is so bright, you keep the area around the tree very cool and shaded. So we would cut grass or cut branches off of trees that have grown and use that to mulch the areas that are around the trees. So that way the water would not just evaporate from the soil and just go up. And the other thing we did as well is for each tree, when we planted it, we did what we called a sahani, which is a plate, and it'd be about this big and around the tree. So if the tree is in the middle here, the sahani would be this big, and all of it gradually goes into where the tree is. So if it does rain, all that water from this whole area gets collected and brought into the tree. Because you never want to plant a tree at a high point, because if it rains, then the water is going to just go away from the tree. We wanted the water, if it rains, to come into where the tree is. And after...
So you did that in digging?
Yes. Yes.
That's sand you're using?
Yep, and not very deep. I mean, it's only maybe that deep, but it has to have a slope from all sides going in towards the tree, just to collect any rainwater that we could possibly get and give the tree a little boost. But after about 6 months of doing it with the bottles, the roots took, and of course not every single tree that we plant is going to take root. It could not be our mistake, it just could be an issue. The tree was a sick tree, the soil was not very fertile, you know, whatever. So I'd say we probably have about an 85% success rate in terms of planting trees. But mistakes happen, you know, when they're small. Someone might step on it by accident. A Maasai visitor could cut off the top half of it and use it as a toothbrush. You never know. So at times, some of our trees did die, but very, very few. And here we have basically 4 different types of trees, which we'll go around and I'll show you kind of each one. But we have indigenous trees, which are indigenous not only to this area, but also the Mao forest, which is over there. So those would be like acacia, croton, sokonoi, yeah. Yes. So the indigenous trees are not only indigenous to this area, but also to the Mao forest. So we're kind of in between the Mao forest and the Loita plain. So it's a very strange environment because it's somewhat, at times, Mao foresty, and more often than not Loita plainsy, which is, you know, very dry.
Is it depending on now what you said with the years? Some years this is like highland.
Some years it's like
yes.
Yes.
This is like dry land.
Yes. Yes, and not even years, but like months. You know, it could be 3 months of beautiful green, and then come back here in 3 months from now, and it'll be completely dry. Now the trees have all taken roots. They have no problem. They'll survive the drought totally fine. But it makes for a challenging farming condition when you don't have a reliable source of water. So we have 4 basic types of trees here that we planted. One is indigenous, and not indigenous just to here, but also, like I said, Mao forest. That would be the croton tree, the acacia, the sokonoi, those type. Our second type of tree is fruit trees. So we've got apples and pomegranates and plums and berries and avocados and all different types of fruits, and many more than what I just said. Our third type is medicinal trees. So certain trees that have medicinal purposes that we can use to boil and make medicine, and not only traditionally medicine, but things like neem or something like that. Neem, you know, neem is extremely healthy. So that type of tree. And the fourth type of tree is basically aesthetic trees, trees that look good. They don't do anything else except they look good. Like these Italian cypresses behind us, they have no medicinal purpose. They're not from around here, but they look cool. Things like the Italian cypress, like the royal palm tree, like that kind of tree. So those are the 4 different types. But there's basically 5 trees or so that really, really take to this climate especially well. And that would be the white bottle brush, red bottle brush, the grevillea tree, the melia tree, and the, which other am I forgetting? There's one more, but I'll remind when we walk around, I'll show you. And that's what we use along all the fences. So what we try to do is have a living fence, basically. So over time, we planted trees along all the fences, and those would include euphorbia trees, pencil euphorbia trees, that kind of stuff, and those other trees that I just mentioned that grow quicker in this environment. Because some of the big trees, let's say like a red cedar tree, like a mutaraqua, it's a beautiful tree. It's gorgeous, but it's a very slow growing tree. Whereas this one that's right in front of us here, the grevillea tree, is very quick growing. But it's not quite as beautiful to me as the red cedar tree. The grevillea is actually very good though, because it gives nitrogen and other nutrients back into the soil. So there's some trees that kind of suck up nutrients from the soil, and we don't want to put those anywhere near the farm. So behind us we have our farm, and we have to really be specific about what type of trees we put in the farm compared to what type of trees that we can put other places. So
you have your land, it's about 3 acres?
3 acres,
yeah. And in that 3 acres you have divided into farmland, and then for your homestead, and then for visitors.
Yep. And a few other things too. We have got
a few other things too.
Yeah, we got the farm, behind the farm is actually an Ololeshwa forest. So Ololeshwa is a wild sage tree, and those were here naturally, and so we didn't even touch those. We cut no trees down at all. So that's where our 14 beehives are. So kind of out that way. We've got an area over here which we planted trees, but we kind of left it a bit more open because it's a football field, a football pitch. So we didn't want to plant too many trees along with a bonfire, and we wanted to keep it a little bit more sunny. And then we have our, personal area, and then we also have the eco lodge itself. And between our personal area and the eco lodge, we've got all different types of trees. Between the Italian cypresses and the royal palms and the monkey puzzles and the and basically everything else that you could think of. We've tried to really diversify, and what that does, I mean, I'm sure you can hear the birds that are all right here behind us. You can see how many birds' nests are here. You can see, if we went back there, all the 14 beehives. Nowhere around us is there this type of diversity of trees and crops. So it attracts birds and it attracts bees, which is awesome, because to see these birds here and how many nests they have is a sign of a healthy, living ecosystem. And that ecosystem is one that over time with rain will only get bigger and stronger as everything really continues to grow. This is just the beginning. This is after,
Do you know how many trees you have planted?
Thousands.
Yeah.
Thousands.
You can't count.
I can't count. And the soil here was because this was basically an open field.
Yeah.
And on that open field, you would have cows, goats, and sheep walking, stomping on the dirt all the time. Oh. And so it was sunny all the time. It was like cement. You would dig it. You'd take a hoe and you would start to dig a hole, and it was literally like cement. So even just to dig a hole to plant the tree was so much work. So every single tree was so much work to plant, which is why I'm so proud that they've grown and they'll continue to grow the way that they have. And it makes me very happy as to see them grow. Now, of course, I prune them all the time to make sure that they continue to grow the way that I want them to.
So it's like you had a period of planting.
Yes.
And you planted. But now you have filled your whole 3 acres with the trees.
Yes. Now we could always, of course, plant more trees, but I don't want to overdo it.
Yeah. According to your plan.
According to my plan,
you are done planting.
Trees, yes, but now in the farm we plant seasonal crops, seasonal vegetables. So there's always planting being done, broccoli and jalapenos and stuff like that, but not any more trees.
And with trees, you are now pruning.
Now we're pruning, of course. Yeah, because the way I think about it is the tree only has so much bandwidth, so much power, and if it uses its power to try and to keep leaves and branches alive that are kind of going out this way, it won't go as high as quickly because it's using that bandwidth to keep these alive instead of grow taller. And so, but that's
a way to make it to go quicker.
Yes. But at the same time, the tree in front of us here, like this white bottlebrush tree, is there as kind of a privacy, not a fence, but a tree, like almost a big bush. I mean, it is a tree, but it's almost like a big bush. And we put that there so people would not be able to see directly into our house. That tree, I don't want to prune because I want it to become wide, and I want it to become very thick at the bottom. I don't want it to go as tall. I want it to be much more wide. So it just totally depends on the type of tree, where it is, what its purpose is, and that all just is, comes from my wife and I kind of sitting down and designing how we want not only the farm to look, but also the eco lodge in our personal area.
Oh, okay. That is great.
Yeah.
So we can take a tour?
Absolutely.
We go and see the different
absolutely
type of designs now.
Let's go.
The farm and the beauty and the fence and all those things.
Let's do it.
Okay.